So today we wanted to do a special vlog.
Something that we haven't talked about in depth before.
In the vlog you guys see all kinds of recurring themes,
Including myself, of course River,
the apartment, or the people that we interact with, the places that we go.
but within our apartment are two little critters.
Our two critters.
Their names are Anna
And Sophie. So here's their story. So it must have been about 3 years ago or something like that, 3 years ago? So about 3 years ago, we decided that we were gonna start looking for pets. We wanted to have a pet, a companionship. Both Allison and I have grown up with pets, and our apartment building that we live in is actually really awesome. You know, some places you can't have pets, but we can here. And if I had to pick, am a dog person. I am an animal lover. I love animals. But if I had to pick, I would get a dog. I grew up with cats. I don't have a problem with them. Allison, on the other hand, she grew up as like a cat lady.
That is a very direct response. Yes, I am a cat person.
So I love her for it. But there was one weekend we were walking around the city, and we know of a couple different places that you can get animals. And one in particular is actually really close to our house. It's called the Chicago Anti-Cruelty Society. It's a shelter that obviously are taking in animals that are homeless or abandoned or dropped off, or there's probably a number of reasons that I don't actually know how they come across these animals. But the thing is they're trying to rehome these animals and find good homes. They do provide some level of medical care for them if they require any attention. They also do the spaying and neutering there of all the animals that go through there. So I don't think you can actually get an animal that isn't spayed or neutered from there. That's part of the deal. So this problem doesn't get more widespread. But we were walking by one day, and I kind of said to Allison, I was like, hey, let's go in there. And so we walked in, and at first we went through the dog side. I was very careful to say nope, we're going through the dog side, because I knew we probably were, if we were going to go home with anything, it was going to be a cat. And I knew that was going to be the second part, so we might as well just go through that second. So we went through the dogs, and there's so many cute dogs in there that need good homes, and it breaks my heart. But we eventually made our way over to the cat side, and obviously Allison was like, ooh, cats, you know. And we're walking around, and me and how I choose a pet, particularly when you're adopting one, is it's all on instinct and feeling. And I think every pet that I've ever owned, even back when I was a kid, the ones that we've been drawn to, or I've been drawn to, are the ones that we end up getting. And I just saw this little kitty, and on the cage it said, she's it profiled them as what type of animal they are, and it said wallflower, right? So the kind of animal that just keeps to itself, doesn't necessarily socialize, not mean, but stays off to the side and just watches things. And I saw this little kitty named Flaca, which in Spanish means skinny. And she was this little bitty little girl, this little kitten, and she was really, really cute. And I never left that cage. That was the only cage that I really stayed with. I looked at all of them, but once I came across her cage, I didn't move. I was just looking around. And I called Allison over, and I was like, look at her, blah, blah, blah. And she was way in the back. The tech actually came over and opened it up for us, and she's like, well, she doesn't come out for anyone. And she came right to the front for us. It was really cute. And I was like, this is the one. If we're gonna get one, this is the one. And Allison's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, let's get it. Hello, Anna. So this is Anna. She is 3 years old, just over 3 years old now. So obviously her name was Flaca. To us, she didn't look like a Flaca. She's not exactly skinny anymore either, so that works out. But yeah, she is definitely named after a Frozen character. We will blame Allison for that one. But okay, you can go. She doesn't like to be held against her will either. But yeah, Anna is an extremely affectionate cat, but she's a cat, right? She's like one of those where, like, affection on her own terms, and she'll like sit on the bed with you, she'll do all of that stuff. We don't allow them on the countertop, even though sometimes they fail at that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. When we got Anna though, the story was like just sort of beginning. So when we adopted Anna, she had just been fixed like a single-digit number of days before we got her. She was only at the Anti-Cruelty Society for about a week, and that's good. I think that's a good thing, because I love businesses that are rescuing animals and protecting them and trying to rehome them, but we actually had a not very good situation with the Chicago Anti-Cruelty Society. So we got Anna, and she had been fixed. Her obviously scar was really fresh and things, and within a couple days we found a vet that we were gonna take her to. It's actually really close to our house, and we took her there for just like a wellness check. Like, if she had just got all of her like shots and things from the Anti-Cruelty Society, she didn't need that though, but we're really glad that we did that because we love our vet. It's called City Cat Doctor in Chicago. If you're in Chicago, we'd highly recommend her. Dr. Anthony, she's great. Upon inspection, and I'm so happy that we did this, they found that they actually botched on the surgery really bad, and it got massively infected just from the time that she had it to the time that we had her, which was just a couple days after, we adopted her. We took her to the vet, and enough so that she had to have surgery again. They closed up some skin. They didn't seal up her scar all the way, so that poor thing, she was like in a lot of pain and had to get recut on again. And obviously, put her, didn't put her down. That sounds awful, but like kept her laying low. So it took a couple weeks to recover, but she bounced back after the vet, a couple vet trips, and now she's awesome. What?
Do you remember Anna's little collar?
Oh, look at this.
Isn't it so cute?
So when we got her, this was the little collar. It's like a little leather collar, and they even made a little nameplate for us that says Anna. And look at this. This is her little like rabies vaccination. Oh my god, this is so cute. This probably wouldn't even fit on her anymore.
No, really not.
She would not be happy about it. They have the chip thing, right? So like they don't even.
Yeah.
That's why they don't need it. If you like do the wand. What is that?
This is her little surgery cone.
This is when she had her second surgery. It was like the cone. We had to put this like athletic tape stuff on here because she kept trying to like split it. I remember that. But
Yeah.
This was the like cone of shame for That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's having the cats have been awesome. They're both very, very friendly. They have very unique personalities. We love Anna to death. She's kind of like my little girl, but we love them.
For our second little baby, Sophie, it was not 100% planned out. I guess Anna's wasn't really planned, but we did want some sort of critter, whether that's dog or cat, but Sophie wasn't as planned out as that. One day, we ended up going to brunch with some of our friends at this place called Zella's. They have a really great brunch. It's great for like a large group, a lot of fun. And when we were leaving, we realized that there is a paws shelter like half a block away from Zella's. I remember walking outside of Zella's and River was like, do you want to go to paws? And of course, anything involving animals I want to do. So I was like, yes I do. We went into paws, and for those of you that don't know, paws is another shelter that's here in Chicago. They have a couple different locations. It's a little bit more, I don't know exactly the word I'm looking for. It's not as like, almost like anti-cruelty feels almost like a government shelter for animals, while this feels more like private and personable, and there's like a ton of volunteers. It's just kind of it's a different experience. Just like at Anti-Cruelty, we first went to go see the dogs because we were still set on getting a dog. Like River said, our apartment is very dog friendly and pet friendly, but really dog friendly. So we first went to go see the puppies, and we went through there and there were some super cute dogs and super cute puppies, but nothing that no one we really wanted to see and be introduced to. So of course we can't leave an animal place or shelter without seeing the cats. We walked into the cat area and they have, luckily when we got there, they had like 3 litters of kittens. It was something crazy. And they just had these rooms of these kittens. There were like a bunch of people kind of walking around, and like we went into this one room and that happened to be Sophie's litter. And a lot of them, they had just been like dropped off like a couple days, 2 days before. They were just like left at the back doorstep, like this like litter of kittens in a box. And so they were new litter to the shelter, and we like went in and they were telling us like a bunch of them had already been adopted. They had like a little mark on their collar and they were like already taken. They were just like 8 weeks old, like little babies, little nuggets. I was looking at this one little kitten that was like gray and white, and she was super cute. And River had picked up another little kitten called Gladiola. He was like holding her, and the volunteer at the time was like, oh, she's kind of the smelly one. Like they actually told us she was the smelly one, which was kind of hilarious. But he was like holding her and playing with her, and then he was like, okay, here, hold this one. And he like passed her to me, and I remember just like holding her, and she was like upside down like a little baby, and she was just like batting at my hair, and she was super cute. But in my mind, we were not going home with an animal that day. We were just there to like look and blah blah. And River was like, we're getting this kitten. And I was like, what? We're doing what? And he was like, we're gonna get this kitten. And in my mind, I was panicking about Anna because I was like, what if she hates her? What if this ruins her like as a cat, like not wanting to be around us and like just being angry all the time? Also, we were going on a trip that following week. We were leaving on like Wednesday, and this was like a Sunday, and we were gonna be gone like all weekend. And I was like, are we really gonna get a kitten right now? And he was like dead set on getting her. So we got little Gladiola and changed her name to Sophie. So here is little, not so little Sophie. Woo!
She wants to play.
Oh!
This is our life. She wants to play.
This is little, oh, she has her claws out. That's good. This is little Sophie. My little fluffy baby. She's a little fluffer nutter. She's very snuggly, but sometimes just like Anna, obviously she doesn't want to be held, but she's in a playing mood. You gonna hang out? Maybe she'll hang out. Do you remember your first night here? Nope, she doesn't hang out. Oh, there's baby hair tufts in it. Oh my gosh, this would fit like your arm. That is so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. How is her neck that tiny?
Show it for reference.
Look at that. Look at that. That's so tiny. So the first night was definitely eventful. The vet had warned us that a combination of female felines was sometimes the hardest combination to introduce to each other.
Surprise, surprise.
So usually a boy and a girl cat, it's fine. 2 boys are even fine, which surprised me, but female and female can be a little bit challenging. So we were like, okay, that's good. And they recommended that we keep Sophie in one room and Anna on the opposite side, and let them kind of sniff each other through the door and like realize that there's someone there, something there, and like get to know each other that way. And we kind of did that. We kept Sophie in a different room, but at one point we were like, okay, we're gonna be gone. And we don't want Anna just like scraping at the door trying to figure out what's in the other room. So we decided to introduce Sophie to Anna. Anna wanted nothing to do with the tiny little kitten. She like immediately hissed at her. And Sophie was just like, okay. So we let Sophie, we put her back in her bedroom, which is where we were keeping her, and we had the door open, and Sophie would hop out of the bedroom, and Anna would immediately be in the living room and like see her and just hiss. And like Anna kept her distance and would always just like hiss at her and not let her get anywhere near her. I was so upset. I was like, oh my god, Anna hates us. Anna hates this new kitten. And we even had a scenario where River was holding Anna and I was trying to console her, and Anna bopped me on my head. She actually like bopped me, and I immediately started crying. I was like, Anna hates me now. And like Anna would always sleep at the foot of our bed, and like she wasn't even coming in the bedroom. So I was like super upset that like whole day and night. But then when we were lying in bed about to go to sleep, Sophie like came up on the bed and she laid right in between us, but she had like her little head on my arm and was just like lying on her back and like looking up at me, and I was like, okay, this will be okay. And slowly over the next couple days and weeks, Anna and Sophie got used to each other, and now whenever Sophie wakes up, Anna bathes her because she's a little baby, and they play and run around, and they really love each other's company, so at least in our opinion. So it turned out good. At first it was a little traumatic and a little worrisome, but they have become very close and very sweet sisters now. And for those that don't know, we didn't talk about what Anna is either, did we? So Anna's just kind of a tabby, kind of almost like a light version of a tortoiseshell.
American short hair.
Yeah, American short hair. While Sophie is definitely a mix, but the vet said she definitely has Maine Coon in her. And I grew up with 2 purebred Maine Coons. They are wonderful cats. They are giant, fluffy, very, very sweet, and great family cats, because they're not like, they're usually very, very loving, and they love to sit on your lap, and they're really good family cats. But yeah, Sophie definitely has Maine Coon in her, and they get pretty big, and I feel like she's definitely growing, and they grow for a long time, like until they're 4, they'll like keep growing. So that's why she has like her little ear tufts and her little coon looking tail. Yeah, she might get to be a big baby and boss Anna around.
So that's pretty much the story of our little family and how we got our kitties. But yeah, the family is still growing. We plan to, once we get more space, we might still get a dog. Probably gonna get a boy. Live in the estrogen ocean. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for sticking with us today, guys. Give this video a thumbs up. We want to not only document for us our cats and memories associated with those for us to have forever, but also bring you guys up to speed on our little critters.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see more adventures of Rib and Al, as well as Anna and Sophie, hit that subscribe button. And be sure, if you like this video, hit that like button as well. And we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. You gonna sit here? Look how snug her face is into your arm right now. Ooh, that little snaggle tooth.
Ooh, you got a snaggle tooth?
Little snaggle tooth.
You little snaggle tooth? Consider myself a cat whisperer, maybe an elementary level.